The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's hosts, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it'll be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's 7 o'clock and time for On the Spot with David Rodgers. And now, here he is, Mr. Friday Night, the show pony himself, the man, the dream, the legendary David Rodgers.
Good Tuesday afternoon and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I am your host, David Rodgers, right alongside my senior producer and director. He is the dancing destroyer himself, Mr. Dave Holland. Say hello to everybody, David.
Hello, everybody.
Well, and as you see, I've got somebody missing. However, with our new format, the way that we got things structured, the way that we got things going on, he is actually in the studios with us, Dave. He's just on the screen, and that's our other host, the Byron Bagwell. Is he on tonight, Dave?
Yes, he is.
Bring him on.
Oh, well, there you go.
There he is.
Oh,
Look
well,
at
good
there.
evening, everybody.
Screen. How about that, huh? What's up, B?
What's going on, infidels?
What's happening, buddy? Hey, you know, I want to explain to everybody a little bit about something before we get started, and you guys can interject and help me. This little deal that we got is called StreamYard. A lot of people use it. I know our other sister page uses it, and I'll be talking about that here in just a few minutes. But this allows us to where vMix is beautiful, and we're going to use vMix. vMix is all those colorful backgrounds that you see Dave does each and every week for us. The lower thirds, the beautiful backgrounds. We can do that here too. But this allows us to, let's say if I'm running late or Byron's running late or whatever, it allows us to log in remotely. And as you can see, Byron is at his house and he's on the show with us tonight. And it's just like having him right here in the studio with us. And it just makes it a lot easier if we need to do a show that way. Or guys, hey, what if we go somewhere? What if, Byron, you've got a breaking story somewhere and you want to bring it on? You can bring it all right through here through StreamYard, and I can be in the studio. Dave can be in the studio, and we can bring it to everybody.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's the beauty of this here. If somebody's not feeling well, and Dave's able to be here on the controls with us, absolutely. And actually, as Mitchell does it, and we'll get into that here in just a second, you can do this from your house. Dave could actually have logged in through his house, gave us the link, just like we just did you, and both of us could have came on, and both of us could have been from our home tonight. Yeah. So, but I'm actually in the studio. Byron's in the studio, but at his house. Dave Holland's here with us. No Austin Stevens. But again, welcome in to On the Spot with David Rodgers. Got a lot to talk about in a short period of time. Let's get these shows started. Wait a minute. What do you have, Dave? What are you working on? What is this? Here we go. Okay.
I came across a picture that I'd like to share to all my viewers. Here it is.
What in the God's
creation? Voice of the Bradford Tornadoes.
Byron Bagwell. What in the heck? Well, first of all right, since you brought this up, Dave, well, Shelly Rogers is going to get credit for this one. I don't know why she created this here. Look, first of all, I want you to look at this picture and then that picture. Shelly must have not thought I had gray hairs, or the silver head. So she made it just like, hey, I use just for men all the time.
Yeah,
and that's a good picture. She did a good job with that. But that chat GPT or whatever it is, it's really good. A lot of people's been using it and doing it. I thought I thought it was pretty funny myself. And Byron, I see you over there laughing. Don't think you're not off the hook because we're creating something as well.
Well,
So,
I'm waiting on the one with both of us. I'm waiting on the one with both of us from pictures from the state championship is really what I'm waiting on, David.
On your lap?
I don't got it up.
Can you turn it up?
Yeah, I can.
Go ahead and say something.
Yeah, okay. So I had to turn you up here on my iPad. Yeah. So absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So I had to turn you up here on my iPad. Yeah. So
is that better, David?
Yeah, I can hear me. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
I had to turn you up here on my iPad. Yeah. So
is that better, David?
Yeah, that's better. That's a lot.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, Byron, we've got something that we're going to create that is probably going to have both of us in it. So we'll see what happens on that. But anyway, welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers. Byron Bagwell joining us from his house. Dave Holland here with us. Let's go ahead and get the show started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the night.
Hey, David, stop for a second. Dave.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stop. You've got a delay going on. It's reading something from somewhere and it's playing it back on the video.
Oh, that's probably.
It's probably that audio collecting itself there. So
there you go. How's that?
Is that better?
It stopped now.
Okay, but I still can't hear him.
Right.
So I don't know how we're going to.
You can't. Can you hear me now, David?
Hang on, ladies and gentlemen. We got a little bit of technical difficulties. Can you hear it through the headphones? Say something, Byron.
Hello, everybody.
No.
Hello.
Right, just stand by, Byron. Stand by, guys. We're trying to get some audio coming through. We can't hear you. You can probably hear me, but we can't hear you.
Battery status.
We're double checking a couple of things. So,
good.
Byron, thumbs up if you can hear me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on the in the comments and that's joining us live, can you hear me? Just give me a thumbs up if you can. So I can hear you. She said, "Is that Lisa? Are you saying for me or for Byron? Byron, is she saying that she can hear me?
She can hear you, David.
Okay, we can hear.
She can hear you.
Okay, we can now.
Yeah.
Okay, say something, Byron.
Check 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check, check.
If I turn this up, it's going to cause that.
I don't know.
Okay, Gary can hear me. I'll tell you what, let's do. Byron, I'm not going to be able to hear you, but the people can, and we'll just go through the comments column.
So that people can hear me.
All right, let's get the show started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the night. Dave Holland is working on the audio issue for us here in the studio. Everybody at home, thank you for joining us. Let's go into prayer. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank again for a wonderful and glorious day you've given us, dear Lord. Thank you for this time that we have as we're able to bring you this show, this podcast, each and every Tuesday, that we're able to do it, dear Lord, and that you're able to let us do it, dear Lord. Want to thank all the guests and everybody that's on tonight, and that you bless each and every one of those men and women and whoever else that's listening, dear Lord, and whatever information that we put out, dear Lord, that each and every one of them take it and do as they see fit with the information that we're getting through you to put out to them, dear Lord. Thank you for letting us live in the greatest country in the world today, the United States of America, the most freest and powerful nation in the world today, dear Lord. Thank you, and just keep blessing this great nation. Put your healing hand over us, dear Lord, as there's many issues and many problems, but with your guiding hand and with your touch, we can get things back straight, dear Lord, and we can be doing the will of your ways, dear Lord. Thank you for the armed forces, each and every one of those men and women that serve each and every day, risking their lives for us, for our freedoms and our rights, fighting domestic and international terrorism and whatever else wants to harm us, dear Lord. Keep a hedge of protection over all those men and women and make sure they get back home safely to their families. Thank you for our first responders, each and every one of those men and women that go out and serve each and every day, no matter whether it's here or wherever it's at in the United States, dear Lord, that you just keep a hedge of protection over them, keep blessing them and their family. And they're out there doing the job, dear Lord, that's most dangerous at times, and it's keeping us safe from harm from others. Also, dear Lord, thank you for the food that we receive each and every day that goes to nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Any spoken, spoken or unspoken prayer requests, dear Lord, that you touch each and every one of them, that you know what's on their mind and their hearts. You've got the guiding and healing hand, and with your touch, you can make things better for them, dear Lord. Again, thank you for this time that we have tonight. Thank you for this show that we're about to do. Thank you for the rest of the week and, of course, the upcoming weekend. We ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. And the congregation says, amen.
Amen.
All right. Let's do the pledge.
All right.
All right, Dave, let's stand up. Who's going to lead us? Byron, why don't you lead us?
I pledge allegiance
to the
to
flag
the flag
of the
of the United States of America
and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, amen. Okay. Well, Dave, I know Byron's got a patriotic quote of the night. I'm going to have to turn this up just a bit, and I hope it ain't going to.
No, turn it up. He can get through.
So, well, it's going to cause a delay, and I don't want that delay to happen.
David.
So you're going to have to get me the comments over there so I can see, but I've got them right here too as well. All right, Byron, what do you have for the patriotic quote of the night? I can hear you through here a little bit.
Brother, I don't know that I'm going to be able to pull that up.
Okay.
Without getting off of StreamYard.
Okay.
Can you get it in your messenger?
Yeah, let me see here. All right. All right. Let's see here. Messenger. All right, here we go. Whoa, wait a minute. What is this?
Just read the quote. Don't read the rest of it.
Dude, under capitalism, man oppresses man. Under socialism, it's the other way around. Who is that, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, my gosh.
It's golden.
Byron Bagwell?
No,
she's famous, all right.
Nope.
Under capitalism, man oppresses man. Under socialism, it's the other way around. Who would that be?
And by the way, it's not looped anymore.
It's I don't hear it either, and I turned mine down too. So good, that's great. So, all right. Man, well, I'm going to tell you, Byron, do you want to tell them who that is? I don't have any guesses.
Oh, yeah. That would be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
AOC.
I had to I have to do something every once in a while to change something up. Yeah. I saw that and I thought, this woman has lost her mind.
Well, yeah, absolutely she has. And, that's, well, anyway, we'll move on. Let's move on. Yeah, you're right. Woo. All right. Also, as we're moving on with the show, we've got also our sister podcast, On the Spot Motorsports Media, with hosts Mitchell Gunner and Robert Simpson. They having a show tonight as well, so we got a dual simulcast. And their guest tonight is NHRA 2025 Pro Stock Motorcycle Champion Richard Gadsden on. They'll also have a guest on Thursday night, as now Dave, Byron, and anybody that's listening is starting to get busy within the racing season.
Yeah.
You've got the Gator Nationals coming up. You got Sick Week coming up. You've got the NASCAR. Everything is cranking up, and Mitchell and Robert Simpson will definitely be busy. So that show is going on right now as well. They'll have a show Thursday night. So again, they're doing a good job over there, and I hope that their guest is good, Dave, as we're going to be having some guests. Want to go back to a couple of things that has happened. Yes, I hope you're on, Rick Knopf. It is on. The On the Spot with David Rodgers is on. Yes, it is. So make sure you tune in. We got, like I said, a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things going on in the community. The main thing that's going on right now, of course, starting up Thursday night, is the Bradford County Fair. We'll get into that here just a little bit. But I want to acknowledge everybody that's on the show. Stephen Rigdon, LJ, Lynn Smith Jr., Shirley Bagwell's on. Good evening to all of you. Where is Byron's Polar Pop?
LJ is coming back. Give it just a second. I already know who asked about that.
Yeah, you know who that is, right?
Yeah, I work with LJ.
Yeah. So, and Steve Rigdon was the one that says, "Where's Byron's Polar Pop?"
Oh, it was Steve that said that.
It was Steve, yeah.
Well, I've got two coworkers watching. Yeah.
Yep. Gary Wallace, hello to you, sir. Looking good? Well, I'm sure you're looking good as well. I can hear you. Yep. Everybody, yep, we can hear everybody. We can hear both. Everything is good. Chrissy's on. Shirley Bagwell said, "What's too funny, Shirley? That picture?" Well, you can thank your friend Shelly Rogers for that one. Yeah, I don't know where she created. She created that while I was on the, me and Byron, actually on the show last week while we was on the show and put it out there. So Anthony Black out of Tallahassee, Florida. Welcome in, sir. I hope everything's going well over there. Any comments or anything that you want to talk about, make sure you put it in the comments column. Me and Byron and Dave Holland will be checking the comments column. Anything that you want to discuss, anything that you wanted to ask about, it's a wide open and free show. Please make sure that you put it in the comments column. Me and Byron always just come up with a topic here or there, but we would love to hear from you, the viewing audience. That's who drives this show. Me and Byron has always said, man, we're just the rudder that steers the big old vessel, and y'all are the vessel, along with Dave Holland and whoever is on our staff that particular night. But anyway, Byron, I tell you, I got to tell you, man, over the weekend, I don't know how many people was feeling rough this weekend. I know you were a little bit, but you had some things you needed to get done. But I tell you, it hit me like a ton of bricks on Thursday. Woo-wee. I'm not the type of guy that calls out sick generally, but Friday morning, I called out and I was like, ooh, man, I was feeling rough. And, it stuck with me through Saturday and into Sunday and partly into Monday. I'm just now really starting to, Steve Rigdon. Yes, I will. Okay, no problem. I'll get into that too as well. But I'm just now starting to really get over it, Byron. And I know me and you talked before the show, and, we were seeing if we was going to have the show tonight. But I can tell you right now, man, I know I wasn't feeling good, and I don't think you're feeling the greatest.
I've been fighting mess for the last 2 weeks, and there's a bunch of people that are having this stomach virus that's floating around. That's like a flu. We're missing one driver, and I think you said you were missing 8 people today.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
From my work, yes, 8 people.
8 people from your work. So I mean, there's something going around right now that's getting everybody, and I don't want any more of it. It can stay away. I've had enough of that 2 weeks ago. I can't handle being sick.
Anybody, you're right. And you can tell everybody our pack if you want to. We've got a pack on the show. And I'm sort of glad that StreamYard is working, Byron, and that we've got this format. Dave Holland, by the way, thank you. Great job for getting this up and rolling. I know that, mental health, it's new to us. But this is a great format because we've always had a pack. And I will go ahead and tell everybody that's watching tonight is that if somebody is sick, we don't bring it here because we all are older in age now. And like you said, you've been fighting that stuff for 2 weeks. I fought it for 4 days, and I'm lucky that I just fought it for 4 days. Dave's had issues in the past. He's starting to get over them, but we don't want to get anybody sick. We don't want to get anybody this stuff because, man, you just never know when it's going to hit you hard. And this stuff right here could really hit you hard. Me and you talked about that a little bit, brother.
Now, it's just not a good time of year. There's something going around right now, and on top of it, all the pollen that's in the air is killing everybody that's got allergy problems. So it just is what it is. I just don't like to see people sick, and I most certainly don't like to be sick myself. After about 2 days of it, I get grumpy because I can't do anything.
Well, and that's exactly right. It's just barely that you feel like going to work. And like I said, I mean, I'm not doing what I normally do, Byron. When I was really out there busting my tail in the shop or within the shop, and I still didn't feel like going. Well, there was twofold to that. One, I didn't feel like going. Absolutely. When I woke up 1 o'clock on Friday morning, I knew it. I went on there and texted my boss, called my boss and said, man, I'm not coming in. The second thing is I wish people, and I understand people's got to work. Some jobs aren't as lenient about taking off, sick days, those kind of things. And people are afraid to do it. So what do? They go to work sick, right? What's the next thing that happens, Byron? They give it to everybody.
Everybody gets it.
Everybody gets it.
Yeah.
So it's it's crazy weather. I think the weather change, hot, on a weekend, and then back to the 20s and 30s the next. I think that's got something to do with it, Byron. You're right about the other stuff. It's just take care of yourself. Make sure you're taking your vitamins, your medicines, whatever it is that you need to be taking so that you can get well. And maybe keep it away from yourself, So you got any suggestions for anybody, B? Start taking that vitamin C or what?
Well, I don't know that there's much suggestions you can do if this is what people are saying it is. They're saying it's some type of flu that's floating around now with the stomach stuff. So I don't know that there's anything you can do to keep yourself from getting a flu besides stay away from people.
That's exactly right there. So anyway, got a couple of things I want to go over. I'll go over the Bradford County Agricultural Fair. That's going to be starting Thursday night. It's going to go for 10 days this year. So they've got a lot of things, a lot of action-packed things that will be going on. I do know that our sound guy is a guy that I work with on weddings and do things like that with, or any other events when it comes to the sound side and the music side and MCing side. Joel Norman, he's been on our show before. Plays the guitar really well, sings really well. He's going to be doing the sound. His company's called AV Elements. And, I work in there with him sometimes, but his company is going to be doing all the production for all the bands, Byron. So he's going to be their sound guy. As a matter of fact, I wanted him to come on the show tonight. I want to talk to him a little bit about what was going on. But he was calling the bands up and making sure, what they're going to need, what they're going to have, trying to get what instruments so he can get all that programmed in. So he'll be ready to go on Thursday night when the first band, I think, which is Matt Wilsey, I'll double check that. But I know he was spending time doing that, man. And that's not an easy job or an easy chore because got to make sure that sound is right to make sure you get it across those fairgrounds.
Well, it's not the same way it used to be, where you used to set up monitors and speakers and just use a mixing board to do that. It's not the same way that it used to be with that.
So you're exactly right. So, but there's a lot of things going on there. So that's a great place for you and your family to go. I'll give you some dates and some times and some of the things that are going on here in just a little bit. Yes, I will talk about tornado football. Byron, the State of the Unions tonight. I really do want to get home to see that. I know you're already there, so you'll be able to watch that as well. Steve Rigdon said Trump said he's breaking the time speaking record tonight.
Hey, whatever
Is it
Donald
short
Trump,
or long? Which record? You could go either way.
probably long, knowing Donald
I
Trump.
figured it's going to be long.
But I mean, you already have people boycotting it, so why not? I mean, it's just that's just disrespectful. But that's another story, a complete and entirely another story about how the Democrats are now with that. There's no truth.
Byron, since we're right there, I can always come back to what I was talking about. Since we're right there, and your mama asked about it too. Do you know what's on the docket tonight? What he's really going to hit on the State of the Union address tonight? Do you want to give a little bit of what may be happening tonight?
I can give you an educated guess as to what's going to happen tonight. He's going to talk about the economy and how good the economy is going. He's probably, and I can almost guarantee you, he's going to talk about the efforts to remove illegal aliens from this country with ICE and how successful that's been, and the different not just illegal aliens but illegal alien criminals is probably what he's going to focus the most on. He's probably going to focus on some different things about what's going on in the world, what's going on in Iran, what's going on with Russia
and Ukraine.
And the Ukraine. He'll probably talk some about that. But I think
you think he'll get into the Mexico thing a little bit, Byron? Do you think he'll talk about old drug lord there, the kingpin down there? Do you think he'll talk a little bit about that? Because what I heard and gathered from everything that I've read was that the United States gave him that intel of where El Mencho was.
Well, you he'll talk a little bit about that. Probably, I don't know how much he'll talk about that because I don't know how much he can talk about that. But there's a bunch of things going on right now, and he'll definitely talk about it. But I think that the hot button issue that he's going to talk about is the economy, because it's about the state of the union.
Yes,
and that's one of the most important things for the union is its economy, and I really think he's going to talk a lot about that. I could be completely surprised. He could come out and announce every name from the Epstein files they have.
Well, I was going to ask you about that too. I mean, do you think he brings that up?
Honestly, with all the nonsense that's going on,
yeah,
I would come in and I would say I really would like to thank all of America for tuning me in to the State of the Union tonight.
Yep.
And I would like to share a list with you, and I would slowly name off every single name that's on that list. And I would say, those are the people that are on the Epstein files.
Well, Steve Rigdon, okay, I agree with you. Steve Rigdon said that Trump is going to break the speaking record tonight. Well, with that list, he could probably talk about 4 hours, because as you name each name, we can throw things right behind each one of those names.
Well, you look at it, Donald Trump's name's not on those files. As a matter of fact, he reported that the person to the FBI, and there's FBI records showing that he actually reported Epstein to them for what he was doing. So all of that nonsense is just a bunch of nonsense. We know who a lot of the people are on the Epstein files. Nobody wants to talk about it. It's like, you look at it and everybody doesn't want to play this political football. I don't care if they've got a D or an R by their name. If you're on those files for going to that island, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, you should be sitting in a jail cell right now. We should not even be talking about this. There should be warrants put out for you, and you should be in a jail cell.
Yeah, no, and I fully agree with that. There's no doubt about that. And so, yeah, it's possible that gets brought up. Byron, do you think he's going to bring up to possibly State of the Union again, sort of staying within the country? We've got midterm elections coming up. Do you think he's going to hit on that some? Because right now, with everything going on and I wanted to really check the number. And I know you can't because you're on your phone and you're talking with me on the show. I was looking for his approval rating now.
Depending on what poll, and I heard this earlier today,
okay,
reliable poll. The ones that actually have been proven to be reliable. Because if you listen to MSNBC or CNN or all of those, you hear a bunch of nonsense. It's somewhere between 47 and 52. I heard that earlier today.
47 to 52. That's pretty good approval rating. I know for sure he would like for it to be higher. With everything, Brian, I want to throw a question to you, and that's why I want to know if you think he may bring this up. With everything going on in not the world too, but in the United States with ICE, and some people say the economy isn't turning like it should. Just the different things and the different rhetorics going on. Do you think? I was talking with some guys at work. Do you think that the Democrats can steal a few seats because of what's going on, the seats that are up? And they brought up to me a good question, and I didn't know how to answer that with the exception of anything can happen. And if it does and it starts turning blue, what you're going to
Oh no! What you're going to have is you're going to have the same clown show you had the last time. You're going to have them impeach him again, and when they do that to the man again, it's not going to go through. You're not going to have the votes to impeach him because they're not going to win that many votes in this midterm. But when that happens again, and they start throwing all of this mud and slinging all of this nonsense at him. I really hope after his term is done that he sues the Democrat Party for slander.
Yeah, absolutely, and he should.
Enough was enough the last time he was president. And if they do that again, which they are liable to do, I really hope he sues not the individuals, but the DNC itself, the Democrat Party itself, for slander. And I hope he makes it some astronomical figure. That way it destroys that party, because there has to be some repercussions for doing stuff like that to a man who is elected president of the United States when it's just false.
Yeah, I fully agree.
Because
but here we go again.
If you're allowed to play political games like this, if the Republican Party ever decided to play dirty pool like that, we wouldn't ever get anything done, because all we'd ever do is impeach presidents. That's all we'd ever do.
Yeah.
And I'm not so sure that's not all that's ever going to happen to the Republican presidents from now on, because of the precedent that they're setting.
Well, turnaround is fair play. You were talking about, they want to try to impeach him, this and that. Well, how about the people prior to this that we've talked about on this show many times? This show is 9 years strong now, Dave?
Yeah.
9 years strong. And we've talked about several different things. Let's talk about Benghazi. We know who headed all that up. Why isn't she in trouble?
It wasn't just Hillary Clinton.
I know.
It wasn't just Hillary Clinton. Barack Obama was probably the biggest player in that. Yeah. And you can't forget the last president that we had. Joe Biden was involved with that too.
Yeah. Yes.
And that every time somebody mentions the word Benghazi, my blood boils, because what they did was something that everybody screams, "Oh, it's treasonous! Oh, it's treasonous! Oh, it's treasonous!" That was treasonous, because what they did was they aided Al Qaeda in Libya, who we were at war with at that point, in the murders or the killings of a consulate and 3 military members.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that is the definition of treason.
So,
and nothing was ever done to any of them.
So 10, 11 years later now, nobody's paid the price for that. How about go ahead.
People, I've heard people that have since say, well, how are you going to do that to a sitting president, the Secretary of State, the Vice President, and whoever else they can figure out who's involved with it? And my comment to that is, I don't I don't care. I don't care how much chaos it throws our government in.
Yeah.
If that's allowed to happen and those sitting members are allowed to commit treason, then that just opens them up to do whatever they want to do, which they do anyway. But I mean, that to that point, no.
I can name several other things. The Afghanistan debacle, which we've talked
Well,
about. There's many things that we can talk about. But my point to you, Byron, is, and we can nitpick it all day, is nobody has paid the price. Nobody, we haven't put anybody in prison for any of it. We haven't even brought it to trial on any of it. Why?
That's because they all have D's beside their name.
Ah, okay. Well,
I'm getting on. I mean, how many presidents have been impeached? And successfully impeached, not just the proceedings. How many of them that you remember have been impeached?
So let's talk about
Nixon. I mean, literally successfully impeached. Yeah. Well, he really wasn't successfully impeached.
He really wasn't. But the Watergate scandal, I mean, pretty much did him in.
And by the way, I want to tell you something. I saw a very valid document from reliable sources that honestly can prove that Nixon was not the person that instigated that. He knew about it, but he was not the person that instigated that and set that up. I'll give you a hint. It's the same group that some people blame for the assassination of Kennedy. So, I mean, look, there's so much.
I think LBJ had, I can't prove it. I know there's some stuff about it. I think LBJ had a lot to do with it. I really do. CIA. Yeah.
The CIA, and if you look at who the director of the CIA was that at that time, you everybody will know who it is because he was a Bush.
He was a Bush. Yeah. Yes.
So, I mean, there's so much stuff going on in the background with this, with the power struggles and keeping people in power, that you have somebody come in for a second time like Donald Trump, who's not beholden to these people. Right. He's going to catch just mortal cane. I did want to say one little bit about this before we go on and to another topic.
Yeah.
I have two comments about the ICE stuff that I really want to make because I want to beat this upside the head every single time. Okay. First and foremost, we are a nation of laws. Mm-hmm. The laws that ICE is enforcing were put into law by a Democrat Congress and a Democrat president. They are the ones that wrote those laws. Nobody's ever enforced them. Not really, except for Barack Obama for a little while, who deported a whole lot of people and nobody says anything about it. So you have Donald Trump enforcing laws that Democrats pass, and everybody goes absolutely slap crazy. Oh, it's the worst thing in the world. No, it's not. It is a nation of laws. And we need to do some figuring out about what we need to do about stopping people from doing some of the silliness they're doing with these protests. Because what you're doing, what you're basically doing is you're aiding and abetting criminals. Number one, that's one charge you can use, which is not a very powerful. But the other one is obstruction. Correct. And that is a pretty powerful one.
Yeah, that's
so when you start doing that and you keep on adding on to it, and you stop all of these people when they act the fool. I'm not just talking about standing across the street saying you don't like ICE, and that's protest.
Right.
When you actually get around these ICE officers and you start impeding what they're doing, you need to be thrown to the ground. You need to be put in handcuffs, and they need to charge you with as many charges as they possibly can. Because this is a nation of laws. And you have the opportunity, and you've had it because the Democrats, if they don't like it, they've had the Congress and they've had the Senate multiple times, and they've had the presidency at the same time too, by the way. Since those laws were written, they could have changed those laws, and they never changed those laws. It was perfectly fine then, but now it's not, and that to me. That to me is well, it's two-faced, is what it is.
So, go ahead, B. Okay. I wanted to throw something at Dave real quick. So, Dave.
Yes.
We talked about this ICE thing, and last week or when we had our show last, you were talking about the way maybe some of the way that they were protesting and some of the things that some of them were doing and the way some of the ICE agents were acting maybe toward the protesters. And I thought you had some valid points there. It was sort of like point counterpoint. So, Byron, I've got a question for you and Dave and for the audience, and I think everybody knows this. What is invasion of your personal space? How many feet do you got to be within somebody to invade their personal space?
Well, I mean, that depends on what states you're talking about when you're talking about police officers, because there's different halos for police.
No. Okay, let me back up. Sorry. Just us as civilians. If I wanted to invade Byron Bagwell's and Dave Holland's space, what is your personal space? How many feet?
2 or 3 foot. I mean,
2 foot. What do you do, Dave? Your arm length. Your arm length.
No, I mean,
exactly right.
It's about an arm.
If somebody comes in and that's an arm length and circling around you, I read a little bit about this, and probably some people that's been on here too as well. If somebody comes in that space that you're not aware of or that you don't know and is starting mess, or you even feel threatened, I'm not saying, I don't know, you'd probably have to have a good lawyer, and everybody's got one of these now, but you could literally tell that person to stay away from you, and if he keeps invading your space and you feel threatened, I'm sorry, dude. I guess y'all can bring me a pack of Newports in prison or in jail, because I'm going to pop the mess. I'm going to pop the mess out of that person, or I'm going to try to protect myself. And the way things are today, you need to do that, because you don't know who's coming upon you at any point or at any time. And you've been reading stories on Facebook. You've been reading stories on news outlets, whichever one that you listen to, whoever's listening on. And man, I'm telling you, dude, personal space is one thing, but I want to tie it into what you were saying about ICE. ICE is an enforcement agency. If they tell you, please go to your knees or put your hands behind your back or whatever, and you don't do that, what'd you say? Obstruction. You're disobeying a lawful order from an enforcement agency, a federal enforcement agency, and then now you want to get big and brave and bad. Now you want to push them, or you want to tangle with them. Now we're talking another story. And that's what I think you were, I wanted to give people the difference of those two things. That's us three and everybody that's on here and anybody that's watched this show. I guarantee you, if a law enforcement officer pulled you over, I don't care if it's in Bradford County, Columbia County, Putnam County, the Highway Patrol, you are going to act accordingly. You're going to not give this guy or gal, man or woman, any kind of reason to even start that off in a negative way. I'm going to go, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Well, I'm sorry I was speaking. Yep, I sure was. By the way, I've got my weapon in here. I've got my concealed permit on me. I've got my registration over here. I'm being as nice and as careful as I can, because I guarantee you, we talked about this last week a little bit. I guarantee you that stop, I'm not saying you're not going to get a ticket. Probably going to get a ticket. You know what I mean? But that's okay. If that's the worst thing that happens out of that, man, I guess I'll just have to take a ticket every time.
Well, David, it comes down to not only common sense but common courtesy too. These people are trying to do a job. They're trying to go home just like we do every night. It's you have people there trying to interfere with their job, and sometimes violently. And you look. I understand protesting. I get it. There's things that need to be protested. And if you feel like ICE is that bad and deporting illegal immigrants are that bad is that bad, and you don't support the law of this country, then fine, protest it. But don't get in these ICE officers' faces. That is a good way to either get yourself hurt really, really badly or to go to jail. One of the two. There's got to be some common sense with it. I want to say something else a little bit along the same lines. David, you were talking about personal space and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
These ICE agents that are masked, that we've talked about, they get called all the sort of things like the Gestapo and the brown shirt and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. You talk about a group of people that will talk like that. If they weren't allowed to wear masks, AI is going to figure out who they are and who their family are, and those people are going to be at their families. And I've got some news for you. I'm trained. I am nowhere near as trained as these police officers and these federal agents are. There are going to be some bad things go on when these people start going after their families and them at home. And that's exactly what they want. And that to me is insane, because that sort of thing, if that was allowed to happen, would happen. And you could say all you want, well, the normal law enforcement doesn't do this and that and the other. Well, normal law enforcement doesn't have to deal with all this nonsense that they're dealing with from a certain group of people. You unmask those people, these people get killed, and I can promise you it won't be good.
I mean, you look at back when the DEA was, and they're still big time, but when they was doing these raids and these infiltration of cartels and trying to hunt somebody down, that's why they wear the mask. That's why, to protect their identity. If they knew who you were, hey, they've already made phone calls. They've already got people. They're going after your family. Like you said, it's a protection thing there. Absolutely, Brian. I agree with you 100%.
Well, I mean, you look at it and you compare it to some things that have gone on with let's just say what's going on in some of the schools right now with some of these kids. There have been students, because they've said that they support what Trump has done with ICE, that have had the absolute living devil beat out of them by other students because they support what basically enforcing the law, what ICE is doing. And what is a shame about that is where this is happening in some of these districts. I'm not even going to call them liberal, because that's not really what they are, because that's not what they're doing, is not what that word means. They don't understand what they are to begin with. But 6 months later, these students are still in school, and still nothing has really been done to them. But there's something being done to the person that got beat up, because they're not letting them go back to school because they're afraid that they don't have the plans right to keep them from getting beat up. That's not what you do with that. Right. You have two kids that beat another student, like this young girl that did the other day, and I can't remember exactly where this was. You have two students do that to the point where she's basically had to be taken to the hospital. Those kids don't belong in that school. I don't care who mom and dad is. I don't care how much
they belong. They belong in prison.
They may not belong in prison because they were younger, David. And younger people don't process.
They need to pay for their actions. See, that's the problem right there. And I'm not disagreeing with you, Byron. They have to pay for their actions, and it needs to be harsh action. Look, at the end of the day,
I'm the principal looking at that. You're no longer going to be allowed to go to my school. Your parents are going to have to figure out where to send you. You are not being violent. Kids are kids. Kids get in fights. Yeah. But what's happening now is this is not just fights. This is stuff where people are actually seriously getting hurt. Kids are actually seriously getting hurt. I'm not talking about somebody getting a black eye or a busted lip or a busted nose.
That's
I'm
how we
talking
used
about
to settle arguments back when we were in school, Dave, Byron. Hey, if I had a problem with you, let's go behind the woodshed here. Hey, let's fight it out. If you want me, fine, okay. Hey, that's good. Hey, it's over. But
well,
see, those kind of things ain't over anymore.
Before
if you
you
get the best of me now, yeah, it keeps going.
Before you knew it, you had your friends separating each other because it was going too far and nobody wanted anybody seriously hurt.
Right.
Now it's to the point. I'm a principal and I'm looking at those two students that did that to that girl. I'm like, you're not coming back to my school. I don't care who your daddy is. I don't care who your mama is. I do not care. You are no longer going to be at my school. And when the school board comes to me and goes, you have to let those students back in, my response is going to be really simple. I am no longer going to be the principal of your school because I am not going to allow my school to be run where people are afraid to have their opinions. That's not going to happen. Period.
Yep. All right. So again, welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. No, we got a little bit late start tonight. I know we want to try to wrap this up because I want to see that State of the Union address too. Steve Rigdon, I'm sure that he's going to talk about everything that I'm assuming that me and Byron has brought up, maybe a couple of other things as well.
He probably will talk about.
Should be good. I'd like to see how long he speaks tonight. Hey, Byron's going to say, man, I got to work in the morning, man. It's 1 o'clock.
Probably going to talk about the tariffs too a little bit.
Tariffs, yeah.
With that too, because it was really funny to me because they were going on about what a victory and all of this stuff, and Trump can't do that no more. They actually outlined how he could get away with doing tariffs through a different part of Congress that had already been approved. So they really haven't gotten rid of the tariffs. He's just got to oppose them in a different way. I thought that was hilarious that everybody went crazy over that.
Yeah, that was. You're exactly right. Steve, I agree, man. I think Byron even said it. He's going to go full beast on these guys for sure. FBI bids to give attention to all these missing kids like they're giving that Nancy Guthrie. So, did you hear that? Or did you see that, Byron? He said FBI bids to give attention to all these missing kids like I'm assuming they are giving that Nancy Guthrie girl.
Well, the problem is how do you do that with all of the missing kids in this country? That's the issue with that. You don't want any kids missing, and you want to do the most you can, but it's extremely hard to say there's 100,000 is that's probably an underestimation, a large underestimation. There's 100,000 missing kids. Where do you find the manpower to do the same thing they're doing with this woman or this young girl?
I've got, hey, Byron, can we table that off till next week? We'll get into that. I've got a solution to that, and I want to see if you agree with me. I'll talk with you a little bit about it, and then we'll present it. I was thinking about that because that was another topic at work too. When we're at the lunch table, all these kind of things come up, and we talk about all these different things from sports to what we're talking about. And somebody had brought up that point and was sort of thinking on the same line I was. But let's table that off. Let's talk about that next week, and I'll see what you think. How we can get all these kids' attention. I don't know if you'll agree with me. You know what I'm saying, or most of them. But I'll present it to you. Tell me what you think.
Most of these kids' attention, the ones that you need to get the attention of is not the kids, it's the parents.
No, what I'm saying is like you were saying about, there's hundreds of thousands of kids missing for not just for all cases to be looked at. I got a little solution to that, and I'm going to present it to you, and you tell me if you think I'm off the rocker. But we'll talk about that next week.
Well, I think you're off your rocker anyway, David, but that's okay.
Yeah, I am. Did you see that picture? But anyway, hey, Scott Munnings. Man, I tell you, man, give me some smiley faces, dude. Scott Munnings says he's going to hit on Newsom's 960 SAT scores. God. Scott Monies. Oh man, I work with Scott. I mean, I've done some things with him out there. You know, Scott. He's a good dude. I like him.
Scott, the man is an idiot, and honestly, he is an idiot that was put there because of his smiling face and the fact that he knows how to repeat lines that have been given to him. I mean, all you got to do is take a look at the state of California. Oh, it's the largest economy in the world. Well, okay, it's one of the largest economies in the world. Fine. How much is that largest economy in the world in debt?
And that's the point. And I was just going to say, okay,
they can't afford to pay their debt. It's terrible, and they're a very large part of our national deficit. And the man is just lets that state leak like a sieve with all the stuff that he does with social programs and all this other nonsense. So he is an idiot.
Sure is. I want to say that they have, Steve, Muslims are going to take over New York and ban dogs soon. People better wake up. Everything going on in this world is nothing but war on Christianity. Man,
nope.
I think it's already been. I think there's a large population of them there. And I'm assuming he's meaning New York City or just New York. It doesn't really matter, I guess.
Well, the Dearborn, Michigan is a prime example of that.
Prime example, yeah.
But what I'm going to say about that is there's only so much the open American populace is going to take from that. And then there's going to be some bad stuff that happens with Muslims.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just the honest truth, because Sharia law, which is what they live by, which is really not a religion, it's a political system. When the American public, the open American public, gets enough of that, there is going to be some very bad things that happen to that community. And it's not going to matter whether it's one of the ones that mind their business and don't bother anybody at all and don't start all this about dogs and women not being covered and all this other stuff. It's going to be bad. So, I mean, you only push Americans so far until they push back, and that will come, and it will come really violently with the stuff that Sharia law requires.
Yeah. Anthony, Tony, I think Shirley answered that for you, but I'll read it to Byron because I want to get to a couple other things. Byron, what do you think about these high school kids walking out of school to protest ICE? Do you think they need punishment for walking out of school? I think your mother answered that. She says when it comes to leaving during a class of protest, that needs to have consequences. Yes. Protest if you must in a legal way, but not during class. There definitely should be consequences.
Sure. There should be consequences. Yeah. And it should be whatever you get for skipping. It should be considered skipping class. And you can't make it any worse than that because because that's what they're basically doing. And it doesn't matter what they're skipping class for, protest, whatever, unless the school says we're not having those classes today to do that.
Correct.
Then they should be penalized for going and doing that. And when the parents say, no, they were protesting and I wanted them protesting, the answer is you might be getting a call from the office, the school officer about that.
Yeah. The resource officer,
the resource officer, because you're encouraging your child to skip school. They might need to have a conversation with you about that. And people can think that sounds harsh and just wrong, but that's the type of stuff that leads to even more stuff. This nonsense. These kids are there to learn. They're not there to go protest. They are there to learn. And that's a big problem, part of the problem with what our school system is today. We do all of this extraneous stuff, and we don't teach children what we should be teaching children. And there's a bunch of teachers that will sit there and tell me, well, we teach all of this stuff, and that's fine, but they're not, for some reason, they're not getting it. And we're spending an unbelievable amount of money a year on each student. that. Oh, and by the way, catch this number from New York. They spend $40,000 a year on each one of the children that are in their public school system. $40,000 to teach these kids a year. That's each student. How is that sustainable? Number one, and somebody, for the love of God, tell me how it is necessary to spend that much money on teaching a kid how to read, write, and do arithmetic and learn history. Please, somebody tell me how why that's necessary, because it makes zero sense.
Yeah,
zero sense.
You're right.
Yeah, that's
I understand what you're saying, and I tell you, I could go on and on and on with that.
Stuff like this is the reason why I don't teach anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, it just is, because it's not about teaching anymore. It's about basically brainwashing these kids into believing one way or the other is what it is. And
well, see, if you taught like your mother and you were wanting to teach years back, see, you would be run out of the school system right now, because you know what would happen? Some kid would go up and tell their parent, or go up and tell some administrator what you're teaching, and they'll go, is that in the curriculum, Byron? Is that in the curriculum that we spoke about? And of course, your answer is going to be no, because you're trying to teach them the right way. And I know where you're going with that.
I can justify what I'm doing with the Sunshine State Standards, which is part of whatever curriculum I want to teach. That's another story. There's ways around that, David. But the problem is not what I would be teaching. It would be my teaching style, because the poor child can't fail. Yeah, the poor child can fail. If I look at somebody who's acting like a bonehead and call them a bonehead, the class laughs, they laugh, and then somebody tells mom and dad, and it's not even the same student, which this happened to me, by the way. And they go to the principal, and then I'm in the principal's office explaining to them why I call that child a bonehead. And I find out that it was another student who told their parents that I called another student a bonehead, yet that kid and his parents had no problem in the world with it. And I'm sitting back here going, do we not see a problem with this? The whole entire class laughed. They laughed. I caught the kid talking. It was funny. It was a release of tension. All of them paid attention to me. And now I'm getting flack because I called a child a bonehead. That's part of what it is. I mean, it wasn't like I called him a dirty name. It wasn't like I called him something that was bad. It was simple joking around with a child. Yeah. And but if I did that today, oh my Lord, I would be the most evil person in Bradford County or wherever I was teaching. And that's just utter complete nonsense to me.
But I fully agree. So. All right, moving on. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers, just now joining us. I know some people got off, and we're gonna wind this up, and we're gonna wind it up on a good thing. So a couple of things I do want to go over. I promised this man I hadn't been able to get to it, and I'll read it. The Strawberry Festival Car Show presented by Florida Misfits Association Incorporated and Mopar Muscle of North Florida. All makes and models welcome for this 2-day event. The dates are February the 28th and March 1st. Times from 10 to 3. Location, the Suwannee County Fairgrounds, 1302 11th Street Southwest, Live Oak, Florida. Day of show fee for both days is $30. So if you've got a car, participant's choice is Saturday the 28th, and judging is on Sunday the 1st. Admission to the festival is included with car entries for displaying person and one family member, a spouse, a child, etc. Trophies each day at 2 p.m. Strawberry Bucks certificate, spendable anywhere in the festival, Dave, of $50 for first place, $25 for second place. There's also going to be a 50-50 drawing. Dave, there's going to be a best of show. There's going to be a Kids' Choice Award, and there's going to be a top 10. So make sure you register at their booth or you will need to move your car. Contact Richard for more information at 352-457-3307 or email him at Florida Misfits Association at gmail.com. And what are they going to do with all the money? Something dear to our hearts, your hearts, Byron hearts. Proceeds will be donated to the Florida Veterans Foundation.
All right.
That's what I like to hear. So the Florida Veterans Foundation, you'll be able to, Dave, I don't know if you can take this and put this somewhere on our page. We'll figure out on that. So make sure you attend that car show. Byron, I'm not sure what kind of days you're going to have off or how busy you're going to be. I know there's some things that's going on with you with your house and things like that. I've got several things that I need to do. We're just getting over this sickness. But you know what's starting on Thursday?
What's starting on Thursday? The fair.
Bradford Agricultural Fair, the Bradford County Fair. It's going to be open from weekdays 5 to 10, weekends 12 to 10. Now, some of those times can change. It pertains to the vendors, exhibitors, and midway rides. Note that some livestock events are outside of those hours. So you need to make sure that you're paying attention to your times. Grand opening is Thursday, February 26th. WEAG hosting at the Interest starting at 4:15. BHS Band, how about that, Byron, is performing at 5. Gates open and ribbon cutting at 5 p.m. First Responder and Veterans Night Day, the first night. Show your ID, and I guess you get in for free. Anybody else, general admissions, $10. So that price has gone up, Byron, from last year and a couple of years ago. Just like everything else is, everything goes up. Matt Wilsey, you know Matt, Byron. We know Matt Wilsey. And the what? Gentlemen Jukebox Band on stage at 6 o'clock. Man, they're going to be playing it up. There's going to be all kinds of things, all kinds of contests going on. Make sure you check out your local paper so you can get everything that's going on. There's so many things, Byron, there. I don't even want to read them all. I just wanted to tell when it was going to be. And then the ending day will be on March the 8th. And they'll have a student discount day on that day. And I tell you, Byron, it's going to be pretty good. 10 days of fair should be pretty decent. Me and you may have to go out and get us a funnel cake and some corn dogs or whatever. Sausage dogs. We may have to go out there and do that.
The corn dogs, David. The corn dogs is what I want. I love those corn dogs, man. Yeah, I got a little bit of something I want to say before we go, David, and it's okay. Along the.
I've still got a couple of them. Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to say this because a lot of times I come off where I just it's all one sided, but I have a bone to pick with Donald Trump.
Oh goodness, Dave, you come in, listen in. I have a bone to pick with Donald Trump.
I have a bone to pick with Donald Trump.
All right, I may join you.
I think he's a great president. There's been some things I've looked at and went, that you can't do that. You can't do that. That's not within your power as president. And he knew it. He was playing games. He is a brilliant strategist. I can't even say the word. Strategic mind. Let me say it like that. He's a very strategic mind. I get that. But when all that stuff was going on, where he got the president of Venezuela, you remember that? Everybody had the nightmare about that.
Yeah.
And he started talking about implementing parts of the Monroe Doctrine, and he was going to make the Trump doctrine. It was going to be so much better. I love you, Donald Trump. I think you're one of the best presidents. We've had the best. You're one of the best presidents in my lifetime. I will give you that. I back a lot of stuff that you do. You are not Thomas Jefferson.
No.
By the way, he is the one that wrote the Monroe Doctrine. You can hang that up because you're not. So look, just the bravado from him, man. Sometimes I sit back and look at it and go, "Oh, please stop! Just please stop! Please stop talking. You're not Thomas Jefferson. You're not going to rewrite the Monroe Doctrine." For those of you who don't know what the Monroe Doctrine is, it's a doctrine the United States went by about that where we basically secluded ourselves from the rest of the world, and the only thing that we took care of was the Americas. That was it. We left the rest of the world alone to their own devices, and we took care of the Americas.
Right.
It will never. That would, as much as I would like to do that and let them do whatever they want to in Europe and Asia, and the way geopolitical politics work and the way the economy of the world works now, that would never work.
No,
I mean,
absolutely not.
I would love to do it simply to say, leave us alone. We're going to kick your rear end and we're going to get our house in order. That will never work because there's too much money involved in politics in basically going back and forth between here and Europe. That's just never going to work. If you tried that, it would be like what Kennedy tried to do with a certain bank that we still have.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I know, and I agree with you. And again, I want to go into a couple other things. I've got several other things I've talked to you about that I don't like that Donald Trump does. And we've talked about this at work. I'm sure you talked about it with others. We talk about it with us as well. There's several things I don't like that Donald Trump does. But that's for another day and another time, because I've got a couple of other things that I want to get into. And both of them you'll like, Byron. But first, we're going to do the weather. So tonight, mostly clear, widespread frost after midnight, cold with lows in the lower 30s, light and variable winds. Tomorrow, areas of frost in the morning, mostly sunny, not as cool with highs in the lower 70s. Southwest winds, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy, not as cool with lows in the mid 40s. Southwest winds, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, mostly sunny, highs in the upper 70s, southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts of upwards to 25 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy, not as cool with lows in the upper 50s. Friday, partly sunny with a chance of showers in the morning, then mostly cloudy with showers likely in the afternoon. Highs around 80, chance of rain 70%. And I want to stop right there, Byron, and you can interject. We need the rain. Yeah. Bad. Davey's even over there shaking his head. We need the rain bad. I hope it rains good too, because we sure need it. Friday night, showers in the evening. Then showers likely with a slight chance of thunderstorms after midnight. Low in the upper 50s. Chance of rain around that time is around 80%. Saturday, mostly cloudy in the morning, then becoming partly sunny. A 50% chance of showers. Highs in the mid 70s. And then Saturday night, mostly cloudy, lows in the mid 50s. So the weather should be from the low 70s to the mid 70s, maybe into the upper 70s. And look, should be mild. We need that rain. I hope that Austin has predicted this right, because we can use it. And I'm going to tell you why. Drought update. Here are the latest situation outlooks looks on the drought. We're anticipating rainfall with a cold front passing through Friday through Sunday. Check out the local National Weather Service for your updates. Or you can, contact who, Byron? Austin's Weather Service on Facebook for the latest weather impacts for North Florida and Northeast Florida. And he also extends that forecast out toward Tallahassee and that area, upwards into the Gulf Coast area. So if you look at the drought monitor, if you watch the news tonight, man, it is like extreme drought from the top, from Lake City downwards past Ocala and down into the Tampa area. Really needs some rain. The dark is what is happening there as far as the drought. I'm not sure why the Jacksonville and St. Augustine, maybe it's the little rain that they've gotten over there, but they're not near as severe as we are. Cold weather alert as well. So there's some freeze warnings in effect for later tonight, into tomorrow a little bit, and then tomorrow night, and then it starts clearing up. You can go to Austin's Weather Service on his Facebook page and get your weather report. All right, Byron, we're going to close out on two things. First and foremost, what time did you get off last night, B? I was going to call you. Remember we had talked about going to the banquet, the football banquet for the Tornado.
David, I don't remember. I think it was somewhere around 5:30, 6 o'clock, something like that.
So you could have went.
I could have went.
Yeah, it started at 6. I mean, but by the time it was over by 7:30, quarter late. It was really short. But I should have called you. I didn't know how you were looking, but I went. And they thanked us for what we did. They know the radio work that we did. They thanked us and everything. It was mainly about the kids. Did get to meet the new coach. He is going to come onto the show with us.
Good.
Got his number. I need to give it to you as well. Dave, need to give it to you so we can call and set up a meet and greet. He was all about it. Very nice guy. He didn't get up and speak much last night because he wanted it to be about the kids that have been in this program for 4 years, and he wanted them to shine. He even basically pretty much said that. So, but he did say that Shirley Bagwell or Shelly Rogers or anybody that goes to the football games, if you happen to get up and go to the concession stand, or if you have to go to the bathroom, he did say this: you're going to miss a touchdown. That's basically what he said. He is going to run a wide open scheme. He's got players that he believes that can do it. He's going to mix the run in for sure. He likes to run the football. But, hey, he's going to line you up 4 and 5 wide and basically say, stop me. You know who did that to us? He said the same model as Coco did to you guys. Dink and dunk pass, dink and dunk pass, dink and dunk pass. Stop it. And then he'll mix in a run. And unfortunately, go ahead.
He's got the quarterback to do that.
Yes, he does. And I wanted to speak on a couple of players, and then I want to read what, and you also commented on it and gave some hearts on it too. I want to read what John Staples said about this program. So a lot of kids got a lot of accolades. I was really impressed with the 3.0 grade point average and above players. They should have just called out who didn't get it. Mostly the whole team had a 3.0 or better. Some kids had a 3.5. Some kids had a 3.75. There was a couple of kids that had 4 O's plus. So, I mean, we have some really good student athletes. And so I'm very proud of them. A lot of guys got a lot of accolades. If you've been following Facebook and reading some of the accolades, they basically just gave those awards last night. But unfortunately for us, Ian Addison is not going to be our running back next year. He's going to go to Middleburg. I did talk to him a little bit last night, and he's pretty much set. So I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, he gave us some good years. So did his brother, and it's worked out fine for them. The one that really hurts to me is Bryce Daniels. I really like Bryce. I like Greg Daniels. Came over from Keystone, come over to this program. We call him Mr. Pancake, me and Byron, because every time I seen him block, he would put somebody on their rear end or put them flat on their back. And unfortunately, things didn't work out here, so he's going to be going to Buchholz. I did talk to him a little bit last night, Byron, and he loves it over there. So I wish him nothing but the best in that. You know what I mean? As well. He gave a couple of good years here, and so is his dad coaching and doing some of the scholarship things that he's done. So, and he also said, Greg said that he's going to be helping out, you know what I mean, trying to get these kids scholarships, but he feels that his son is going to have a better opportunity at Buchholz, and who's to say he's wrong. I wish him nothing but the best.
So is Manny Torres still going back down to Miami?
So I was just getting to those players. So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay because inquiring minds want to know because I did too. So I talked to Jordan Kaysen.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Jordan Kaysen told me to tell you and whoever owns the radio station
Uh-huh.
that you're going to be calling my name many more times next year.
That's good. I am really glad to hear Kaysen's coming back. That's good.
Me too. Me too. That was one of the players. So I spoke with Danny Torres and his sister and his mom and his dad was there. They were sitting on a table across. And actually, Danny messaged me and said, Mr. Rodgers, are you going to be at the banquet? Well, I almost forgot about it. And Shelly reminded me, but you had to get your ticket. But I guess they had extra tables, so I was just able to pay at the door. So I said, yes, I'm coming. So he said, good, man, because he said, I want to talk to you about something. Oh, boy. Okay. So we get to the banquet and everything. So he got several awards as well. And I was talking to his mama. And they're impressed with the coach. Everybody I spoke with is impressed with this coach. I guess they're getting some good vibes. He doesn't play no games. I will say that. He doesn't play games.
That's good.
Straight up forward. Basically, you know what he told him? Don't be wearing your pajama pants in here on a weightlifting thing. Come in here dressed like you need to be. So he's pretty to the point, and I like that. To the point, let's get it done. You listen to me, we're going to have a good ball team. So I spoke with Danny Torres. Danny Torres told me to tell you, he said, Byron, it's been great knowing you, and that I'll be around Tornado Nation too. He's not going nowhere.
You know, that honestly, that's a relief. That really is a relief because what you do is you take probably the two most dominant people on that defensive line and you keep them. We had to replace one of them anyway because he was a senior and he graduated.
Correct. You're talking about Nate Raymond. And he actually played linebacker too. So yeah, unfortunately we're gonna lose Nate Raymond. But I think PJ Lee's staying. I think he's going anywhere. Also, I talked to Cubbage. I was like, man, please tell me you're staying. He said, Mr. Rodgers, I'm not going nowhere. And he said, before you even ask, the Viking ain't going nowhere either. So I was like, okay, this is sounding good already. And everybody, seriously, Byron, everybody that I spoke with the exception of Bryce Daniels, which we knew, you read the threads, we knew he had already made that move.
Yeah.
I was just hoping maybe some sentimental stuff, maybe that he would come back. And I wish they would. And I love Greg and I love Bryce, but I get it, man. You got to look at, hey, look, I wish him nothing but the best, seriously.
Well, you're talking, and not that Bradford's not, but you're talking about a powerhouse that he's going to that's been a powerhouse forever. And his dad's having an opportunity to coach there too. Yeah. I really do. I get it. I get why he's leaving.
And I get it too. And I was just a little sad about that. But everybody else that I've seen, and no telling, look, some of these guys has already went somewhere. Chase Phillips, who's to say, him and Jordan Kaysen are tight. Who's to say Chase Phillips doesn't come back here?
I love it when Chase Phillips come back because Chase Phillips is one of those players that he's special. Yes. He really is. He really is.
Yeah,
we have a bunch of special players.
We do. And we got a good nucleus. And I wish you could have seen this last night. But anyway, they told me to tell you all hello. And like I said, there's going to be some movement, Byron. It's the way it's set up. And ladies and gentlemen that's watching, it's the way the system's set up. It's just like college football. There's nobody, we talk this, we need to do this, but nobody's enforcing the rule. You make the rule, but nobody's enforcing the rule. So guess what? Now it's sort of out of control, right? Nobody monitoring, right? We don't have a czar of football in high school. We don't have a czar of football, in college football. So why do you think NIL deals are going rampant? Why do you think guys can and not that me and you're a proponent of it, because we've already said we're not a proponent of it at all. But
why
do you think? In some ways, in some things. But I mean, transferring 3 or 4 times? No, I don't buy that for $1.
Once.
8 and 9 years eligibility.
No.
I don't see that either. You know what I'm saying?
One transfer, one time, and you sit out the next
and you
year.
sit out for the year,
just like they used to have it. Number two, if you get NIL money, you no longer can have a scholarship, and all of this nonsense ends.
I want to add one more thing to it. To that, what you just said. I think it needs to be incentive based. So, I don't, coaches, whoever, the administration, whoever's putting that bread out to you. Okay, let's say, and I get it. If you go out there and you throw 5 interceptions in a game, you know what I'm saying? I think you should be docked for that. Now, I know I think it needs to be evaluated. I think your performance needs to be evaluated by somebody that's not close. You know what I'm saying? Somebody from an outside perspective, if you should get your money. Yes, I get it, man. The defensive backs make great plays all the time, and they could have jumped every one of those passes that were right there on the dime. I get it. But,
one of the greatest quarterbacks I've ever seen loved to throw interceptions, and that was Brett Favre.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, look,
yeah.
It depends on the quarterback and how he plays, and it also depends, like you were talking about, on DBs, because you come up against a team that's loaded with DBs, and you throw 4 picks in a game, and every single one of them you rewatch on TV and go, there was nothing he could do. Those were just incredible plays by the DB. The stats are going to lie about that because that's not a horrible play. It's just a great play. Yeah, I get you.
But anyway, that's why you're allowed to do that. So, we're going to see kids that come and go. We wish them nothing but the best. I want to state one more time, and I think I can speak for Byron on this behalf. Coach Rodgers, Coach Staples, both Staples, Tyler Stevens, we wish you nothing but the best over at Baker County. I understand, I don't know what happened, all that was involved in it. You felt like you needed to make that move, and I'm okay with it. You see my write-up, you hearted it and everything to Coach Staples, and I for sure am going to miss them. And I'll tell you what I wrote, but I want to tell you what he wrote. He wasn't even at the banquet last night. None of them were. So, I think none of them were at the banquet last night, and I didn't figure they would be, and that's okay. But he said, congratulations to all the seniors that we had for the last 4 years. He's saying that we had still. It's still embedded in him. And I'm sure it is with Rodgers and the rest of them.
They were his players.
Yeah, exactly. For the last 4 years on their banquet last night and being honored. What an elite group. Let me read you some numbers. This senior class was 47-7, which we knew that. 47-7. Who does that? That's a loss and a half a year. Not even. Is it, Byron? I think that's even too much. It's about a loss a year. A little more than a loss a year. Yeah. 10 playoff wins in 4 years. How about that? 10 playoff wins in 4 years. 3 district championships. Really should have been a 4th. How about this number? This is a staggering number. Shirley, how about this? So 13 home playoff games, bringing in, listen, $150,000. Playoff game. 13 home playoff games that we had brought in $150,000. Not the regular season, Dave, just the playoff games that we had here at Bradford. Yep. That is phenomenal. Numerous D1 offers and commits. Yep, we know that. How about 2 Final Four appearances? And how about a state championship appearance? Great kids for a great program. And I heard somebody say last night, and I don't think Coach Staples said this, but it is the winningest senior class in football, in Bradford football history. And Bradford football has been around a long time. And I almost thought I wanted to question it because I figured the state championship teams had those runs as well. But that was only a couple of year run. And things are set up differently. Scheduling's set up differently. Now to win a state title, back then probably, Byron, and if somebody is on that, went to school back then, maybe I'm on, maybe you had to win 11 or 12 games. You know what I'm saying? To win a state title. Now you have to go 15 games in to win it. You have to play 15 games to win a state title. So it's different, and the numbers are going to add up differently. But anyway, he definitely stated that, and I went on and said, and I think Byron will console. I said, Coach Don Staples, you and Coach Rodgers and the other coaches were a big reason this happened. You got our young men to buy in. Thank you for your time here, and that will never be forgotten. And he reciprocated back, and several other fans had liked and hearted and said some things back. So, man, I'll never forget it, man. That was one of those times, man. That was just heyday times. You came in right at the right time. It's easy, Byron. I want you to tell people, because people think that's what we do is easy. There's a lot of background work that goes into those things that we do, but it is fun. And isn't it easier to call football games when you're winning?
It's easier when you're winning, but it really is not an easy thing to do. No, because you have to constantly pay attention to what's going on. Yep. And there has to be a flow with it, and it's not the most difficult thing to do, and it is an enjoyable thing to do, but it is definitely not easy.
Yeah, and Shirley, yes, I think you will like him. He's just got this personality to him. I was sitting by Bobby Epps. I'll give you a quick little story. I was sitting by Bobby Epps last night, and the coach come by. I didn't even know he'd come by. I was sitting there eating my food, and Bobby had already met him, and he says, "Coach, this is one of the radio voices for the Tornadoes." I said, "Hello, Coach." The first thing he said was, "Yep, that's a radio voice." He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, my partner's not here." I said, we both do the games. And he goes, "Man, I can't wait to meet you guys." He said, "This already sounds exciting." I guess Valdosta does it, but, they got a couple of teams that they're trying to share that with. So he's saying for a small town, you know what I'm saying? So he's interested in meeting us, but I thought that was pretty funny. Let's see. Shirley, I think you'll like him, and I think you should feel good about it. I wasn't sure. He's got a heck of a resume. I read it to you the last time we were on. He's got a great background. The worthless nuts, as Gordon says, yes, we're getting ready to do the same thing. Gordon said, "Fixing to tune in the State of the Nation, brothers. It won't be as entertaining, but it's a must tonight." So, yes, absolutely. We're going to go watch it as well. I'm going to listen to it on the way home. But, no, great job. Fantastic group of young men. And, Byron, I know I don't have my roster. I caught all these seniors. But remind me to do that next week. Yeah, I think they deserve to be praised, those seniors. I just didn't have my roster on me, and I was like, man, Byron maybe has his roster that he can do it. But we'll get
David, I've got stuff spread out so much everywhere. I don't even know. My house is destroyed right now. So anyway, I wanted to say this. I do also wish Coach Rodgers and Coach Staples and their whole entire crew that went to Baker County the best of luck. Absolutely. Nothing but the best. Unless you play us, because I cannot
play us. Correct.
I just can't. I cannot do. Coach Rodgers knew he would look at me when I'd say stuff about Baker County. He knew I can't.
Yeah, he knew.
I can't stomach Baker County. I just can't. I'm sorry.
But for him and that staff, we wish them nothing but the best. Hey, and you know what? After the game, what did I say? Hey, we need to have a cold one.
Yeah. We can do that.
Yeah, we need to have a cold one with them. Yeah, absolutely. So you're right. Hey, I know. State of the Union, 5 minutes. Yes, I know everybody's getting ready to go. We'll go ahead and shut her down. Byron, I'll save this for you for next week. Hopefully you're in studio. It's about your beloved Jaguars, I found. And you can read all the accolades about them this year, next week. How about that? I'll save it for you.
That's a really good football team, and they're going to be
man.
really
You
good
ought
next
to see the stuff. You ought to see. Hey, I'll leave it for you. You can do it because I know you're a big Jaguars fan like I am. But I'm gonna save this for you. All right, real quick, closing thoughts. Anything, B?
Just this ought to be a good State of the Union address.
It should be.
Pay attention to the details and not Donald Trump's ramblings, because Donald Trump will go on and on and on and on. It is designed to make people go, look at how he's doing this. Listen to the actual information he imparts. That's what you need to listen for.
All right, Dave, real quick, got anything?
I'm fine.
You're fine? You want to say bye-bye to everybody?
I like to say good night to everyone. Thank you for tuning in.
Yep, I want to say the same thing as well. Go and watch the State of the Union address, like Byron said, and everybody was saying it's very important that you listen to this tonight. Don't listen to us rambling on. Listen to the message that's being put out there. On behalf of Byron Bagwell, Mr. Dave Holland, Dave Rodgers, God bless you. Have a great night. We'll be back next Tuesday night, and have a great weekend. Take care, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Oh, yeah. I guess I got to do the...
See you, B.
Good night, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Hey, we'll talk tomorrow. We'll talk about what we heard. I'm gonna listen to it on the way home.
Sounds good, brother.
All right,
good night, Dave.